The Dance of Venus.
So here we are with the Dance of Venus. And you can see us all dancing around the medicine wheel in the Universal Mysteries area of the Sunrise Festival. Now what we're actually doing here is we're dancing the path that Venus makes in the sky in her movements around the sun as that relates to the earth. So you'll see that as we dance, we're dancing around the outside of the wheel and then coming in very close to the wheel, to the center, and that center represents the earth, like the two little girls are standing with the flower pots around them. This represents the earth, and as we come in very slowly at this point, this is where Venus actually makes her conjunction to the sun when she's between the earth and the sun. And at this point she makes a retrograde loop, moving very slowly in her movements. So as we trace this pattern out, what's remarkable about it is that we're actually tracing out a 5-petaled rose. Now this is a traditional symbol of Venus, the rose, with much symbolism associated with it. And yet only really in recent times, as computers have been able to map this movement of Venus as it relates to the Earth in its orbit of the Sun, we're able to see that it makes this perfect symmetrical shape every 8 years. Venus has a synodic cycle of 8 years, and in that time it makes 10 conjunctions to the Sun. And 5 of those conjunctions are when Venus is between the Earth and the Sun. And they're the conjunctions where Venus is very close to the Sun and goes retrograde. And this is where you'll see us coming into the center and very slowly honouring the Earth. And what's remarkable about this is that Venus always shows the same face to the Earth when it makes this conjunction, when it makes this retrograde loop. We're just finishing this dance, and now you'll see us doing it again here, slightly better view this time. Here we are making the first retrograde loop as Venus comes conjunct the Sun. And in this first passage where we begin from, Venus actually traces out a perfect heart. So this first round that we make, we're actually tracing a perfect heart, returning to the point where we began, and then dancing out into the outside of the circle. And we call this wild abandon. Venus moves very fast as it goes the other side of the Sun. And we take a whole revolution and then another 3/5 of a revolution before we make the next conjunction to the Earth as we come in on the retrograde loop, as we're doing now. You see people doing that now, coming in, honouring the Earth very slowly, doing the retrograde loop. And you'll see that we're also passing through an archway there. There's 2 people there making an arch. This really symbolises the point where Venus crosses the orbit of the Sun and then moves the other side of the Sun, where it moves into a much faster motion around the outside, into the wild abandon phase. And again, one of the remarkable things is that although Venus is turning in one direction in its orbit, it's actually spinning in the opposite direction. So we are mimicking this as well. You'll notice that we're turning around anti-clockwise, but we're spinning clockwise. So we're turning in the opposite direction. So here we are again, honouring the Earth. I think this is the 3rd meeting of the 5. There are 5 meetings of Earth and Venus every 8 years. So here we are making that conjunction. It's a beautiful moment as Venus comes in there. It's a real honouring. And here we are passing again through the archway, and we go into wild abandon again. There's something really beautiful about this connection, and something when we did this, as we do this dance, we do seem to invoke this spirit of beauty, peace, harmony that Venus represents by embodying its own motion. And these symbols of the heart, the rose, the pentagram, and we actually mark out a 5-pointed star by making these 5 points. These are really three traditional symbols of Venus, and really only recently have these been able to be realised through this dance.
The dance of Venus.
Five contacts with the Earth in the 8-year cycle, and here we are just circling up at the end of our dance, just sharing what that was like as a group. Really beautiful experience.